Hello! Hi everyone! Welcome to Guiding Voice podcast series, the guiding voice for a better future. This podcast is to help students and young professionals to shape their careers. Thank you for tuning in. This is Naveen and I'm with my co-host Sudhakar. Dear listeners, on popular demand, we have chosen one of the hottest topics in the today's technologies world. And can you guess what it is? Alright, I know you must be thinking, but let me reveal the topic. Today's topic is roadmap to machine learning. And to discuss this most important topic, today we have the youngest speaker on our show so far. He is none other than Yashwant.
Yashwant Sai Palaghat is currently working as a software engineer at a product-based company in Hyderabad, a machine learning evangelist with a major content delivery focus on machine learning. Yashwant owns a Python library developed during his engineering days. He is an active GitHub user with more than 150 real-time projects available in GitHub. Yashwant considers himself as a techie, loves exploring technologies and teaching the same in his community. Yashwant is an Udemy instructor with active courses.
And Yashwant is also a YouTuber with a well-strengthened YouTube channel with around 1.6k subscribers. And he has launched that with the motto of delivering technical content and will always try to motivate engineering students with his captivating videos. A content developer with active technical content delivery in all forms, using text, graphics, videos, etc. And he is also an active blogger and runs an active blog title called Techie Empire, which aims to help and motivate engineering graduates to choose the right path on technologies.
Yashwant is very active in social media with more than 20,000 connections all over his social profiles and pages across LinkedIn, Insta and YouTube. Coming to his education, Yashwant graduated from Narayana Engineering College in the stream of Computer Science and Engineering in 2019, in which he was college topper. Apart from technical life, Yashwant is interested in filmmaking, where he is into story writing, editing, direction, and a protagonist too. He owns a YouTube channel named The Fun Bite with more than 10 short films in it. And we are pleased to welcome Yashwant to our show today. Surely this episode will motivate our students and young professionals. Yashwant, can we get started?
Yeah, thanks Naveen and Sudhakar. First of all, it was a great introduction and thanks for inviting me to this show.
Thank you for taking time from your busy schedule, Yashwant. Let us start with the basics. How do you explain machine learning to your grandparents? Yeah, you heard it question right.
Yes, it was indeed a great question to start, Sudhakar. So, in fact, the similar concept existed since my grandparents' days. So, suppose take an example. So, if there are gloomy clouds in the sky, so our grandparents will predict that there are chances of rain in a few minutes. And yes, mostly the prediction will come true. How can this be so accurate most of the time? Yes, it is a kind of machine learning technique used for years. They forecast occurrences of rain based on the experience that they have. They might have been seen similar kind of incidents before, so they are able to predict exactly. Yes, machine learning is similar to it, but in machine learning, machines took over the task of prediction, and experience here refers to the data. So the more experience our grandparents have, the more chances that the prediction will come true. Similarly, the more data the machine learning model has, the more accurate the result is. I think it was crystal clear and they will understand machine learning with this easy example.
I have no doubts there. Interesting analogy. I think our grandparents, or for that matter anyone, will be able to surely relate to it in much better way. So let's move on to the next topic. Now that we understand what actually machine learning is, how can this ML solve our real world problems other than the example that you picked about weather forecasting?
Yeah, machine learning is gaining its popularity because it is making livelihood easy in every aspect. Consider machine learning has the ability to solve real world problems. So and it has already proved in doing so. So you already mentioned about an example, right? We discussed about weather forecasting. So it is one such example. And the important thing to know about machine learning is it reduces human intervention in every aspect and it automates the process. So consider machine learning in healthcare. So currently diagnosis of various dreadful diseases including cancer become easy because of machine learning as advanced ML algorithms do the task of detecting various tumors which doctors cannot. Also, similarly, consider machine learning in security wise. So, with the inclusion of advanced ML algorithms, your mailbox is free from spam emails and misleading messages. Also, advanced face recognition algorithms reduces the risk of crimes. So there are also many apps that we use in daily life like Google Translate, Apple Siri. So these are all increases the comfort of the individual to access everything from hand. When you consider shopping, which is a common thing in every individual life, recommended systems help you to shop easily, and it also helps the businesses by getting more customers with the advanced features. Machine learning, when you consider machine learning in stock market, it also helps businesses and investors to go high by predicting the stock prices before itself. So one of the most fascinating field in the present era is robotics. It has also a scope with the machine learning. Nowadays, every organization depends on the data and making a business out of it. So with advanced analytics ranging from who buys your product to when will they buy. So these are all the examples, and there are still many more left that are solving complex problems in each and every area.
Hey, Yashwant, looks like ML can be applied in almost any domain, and we see bright prospects in that field.
Yes, Nagar.
In case if somebody is willing to start machine learning, where should they begin?
Yes, starting machine learning is something which is the biggest confusion to many of the people nowadays. There are hundreds of online courses on the internet which claim that they will teach machine learning in a month or two. So what it does is it adds more confusion to learners because machine learning is not something that is learned overnight. It is a combination of mathematics, programming, and analytical thinking. So people with a mathematics or computer science background have some advantages over others. But even non-CS people can even master machine learning if they are good in analytical thinking. So the roadmap to machine learning will start in this way. Like it starts with mathematics, statistics, programming, and then classic machine learning algorithms. So most of the people generally do mistake because they directly jump over to machine learning without having all the necessary basics.
I think that's quite interesting. You mentioned about having the basics strong and understand what are some of the prerequisites before jumping into machine learning directly.
Yeah.
All right. So, Yashwant, what are some of the resources that someone can leverage to start learning machine learning?
Yes. Machine learning requires multiple learning tracks and endless research. So there exists a famous course by Andrew Ng, who is a renowned data scientist on machine learning. So in which many finds it helpful to start machine learning. So you can easily get it in the internet. If you search for machine learning by Andrew Ng, you will get that. And apart from that, people can make use of platforms like Kaggle, Analytics Vidya, etc. to practice building various machine learning models. So even there are some best books in machine learning which are very much helpful for beginners. Even I have posted multiple posts and videos on my YouTube channel and blog too.
Yashwant, you mentioned about the journey that starts from mathematics to statistics to programming to classic machine learning algorithms.
Yes, Sudhakar.
So, taking the first step there, Yashwant, on the mathematical background, how important do you think having a strong mathematical background will help the student or the employee to excel in machine learning?
Yeah, that's a good question, Sudhakar. So mathematics is a base for machine learning, undoubtedly. There are high chances that people who love playing with numbers from their childhood will do better in machine learning than others. Most of the machine learning that we use now is nothing but statistics. The terms prediction, forecasting, these are all taken from statistics. So machine learning is simply considered as statistics with added color. So this tells how important a strong mathematical background is required in machine learning. So all we need in machine learning is data, and the better we understand and we perform operations with data, the better the accuracy will be. And yes, mathematical background is a need in machine learning, and it is a must too.
Thank you, Yashwant. That clarifies. So, Yashwant, these are the days of buzzwords, right? Every second day you get to hear some new buzzword. We hear another interesting term on learning, that is deep learning. What is the primary difference between this machine learning and deep learning?
Yes, Sudhakar. So deep learning is the advanced form of machine learning in which it uses neural networks instead of classic machine learning algorithms. So as machine learning needs a huge volume of data to obtain accuracy in prediction, so in some cases it will be difficult for a normal CPU to handle huge amounts of data like image data, video data and audio data. So deep learning has been introduced to deal with huge data sets. Deep learning uses neural networks. Neural networks are something that they are connected in the form of how neurons in our brain are connected. So deep learning mostly works on the GPU environment, unlike machine learning. So when you look into the applications like self-driving cars, robotics, facial recognition, these are all developed with deep learning but not classical machine learning. So simply we need to remember one thing. So if there is a requirement of huge amount of data, then we go for deep learning instead of machine learning.
I think that clarifies, Yashwant. Wonderful insights. And now I would like to ask a question in line with Sudhakar's earlier one. We also hear AI and ML together. So is the case with ML and data science. So how is ML related to AI and data science? Can you clarify?
Yeah, sure, Naveen. Like before going to this, I will ask you a question. So what do you think of difference between machine learning, AI and data science?
I would say AI is the superset and ML is one of the ways of implementing AI. And when it comes to data science, it is more about how do you draw some insights with huge amount of or huge volume of data generated by various companies and social media platforms and businesses, so on and so forth, depending on the business in which they are operating. Am I right?
You are almost in, Naveen. Yeah, let me clarify this again. See, these are the differences that every machine learning aspirant must know. Artificial intelligence is something, as you said, it is a superset. So, which means AI is something we add intelligence to computers. So, in the process of adding intelligence to computers, we need machine learning. Simply consider machine learning is a process to achieve artificial intelligence. So the ultimate goal of a machine learning engineer is always to achieve artificial intelligence. And coming to data science, there are various myths floating over in the tech community that data science and machine learning are the same. And also there are various course providers that offer data science as a single course. So, but actually they are not. Data science, the name itself clearly tells that it is a science that deals with data. So data science is a study of data, but data scientist is someone who knows statistics, data analytics, machine learning, computer science, data visualization tools, and many more. But machine learning is just a subset of data science. So people usually tend to confuse between these terms. So data science is a process. It is like how we define computer science. Computer science is a mixture of subjects that deal with computer programming and various operating systems. In a similar way, data science is a combination of all these. It is a combination of data analytics, machine learning, mathematics, and there are some tools to get insights, as you said. And yes, I think this comparison is simple and it will be easy to understand.
Yeah, you have put it very simply and great points, Yashwant. Coming to the types of machine learning, we come across two major terms, supervised learning and unsupervised learning. Can you highlight a few major differences between those two?
Yeah, sure, Naveen. Well, machine learning is primarily classified into three types. So, like apart from the two that you described, there is also one thing. So, those three are supervised learning, unsupervised learning, and reinforcement learning. So, there are various definitions on the internet on those, but still there is some confusion. So, I will explain the differences between them with some simple examples. So, assume there is a small kid in your home. So, you daily take him for walking outside. So, consider there are dogs and monkeys in your area. So if you tell him that this is a dog and this is a monkey, on the next day when the same dog appears, he tells you that this is a dog. So this is his observation, and this is what supervised learning is. There will be some supervision or guidance to your model to predict something. So it is a little bit easier one when compared to the other models. So the main thing in supervised learning is there is a guidance provided for you to predict something. So consider the same example in another scenario. In this case, you didn't tell the kid about those two animals. You just walk with him and you return back. So he watches those animals daily and he himself categorizes them into two different animals. So based on the features of animals. So when the next day, if the dog appears, he will still memorize the animal based on his categorization that he have made previously. So even though he doesn't know the animal name, he categorizes them into two different animals. So this is called unsupervised learning, in which there will be no clear guidance and there will be no clear labeling of the animals. In this example, the kid itself understands that these are two different kinds of animals, and if the similar one appears to him, he guesses immediately based on his memorization. Yeah, and it is called unsupervised learning. Yes. And yeah,
Great example, Yashwant.
there is one more concept which is very interesting. The third one is reinforcement learning. So it is a bit different from the other two. It was like a trial and error method which learns from experience. So consider a simple example now. So you have 10 keys to open your door lock. So in which only one is the right one and the 9 are wrong ones. So the first time you will try with all the 10 keys, right? After that, you will get to know which is the right key after trying with all those 10 keys. From the next day, you will only use the right key to unlock the door, right? So there is no need of using those 9 wrong ones. In the similar manner, machine learning model will be tried with many different options, and finally it learns from the experience and it chooses the best one. It is called reinforcement learning. So yeah, these are all the 3 different types of machine learning that are into existence now. Yeah.
Absolutely wonderful analogies. In fact, these are really easy to understand. I'm sure whoever listens to this episode will get hold of some of the basics of machine learning, and I'm sure it will also propel them to start their journey on machine learning. All right, now what is the next step after learning the machine learning theory?
Yes, good question, Naveen. See, theory knowledge of machine learning is not at all useful in any way. In order to become strong in machine learning, practice machine learning by solving challenges in your daily life. So in your daily life, there is an abundant amount of data for you. So collect data and try building some intelligence with it. Also, try to solve problems with existing solutions first, and you will come to know how to apply a particular algorithm in a particular scenario. And after that, then try to solve a problem in which there is no solution. Then you slowly start working with real-time models and solving real-time problems. So yeah, this is a continuous process.
Try solving real life problems and practice is the key. I think that is one takeaway that our listeners would go home with. Now, with all the examples and all the scenarios that we talked about, what do you think is the future of machine learning?
Yes, Sudhakar, that was interesting. See, machine learning is undoubtedly the future. The way it is evolving since the past 5 years clearly shows how important machine learning is. Machine learning grows with data, and there is no chance that the amount of data in the world will decrease in any manner. So, data keeps increasing day by day, which means that there are opportunities that also keep increasing with machine learning day by day. So, yes, undoubtedly, machine learning is considered as one of the future technologies.
So, Yashwant, when you are not blogging, when you are not teaching the enthusiastic students, and when you are not busy with your filmmaking, what keeps you busy and what do you do other than these things?
Yeah, like in my engineering days, I always use it to work on different projects. So like I will collect some of the real-time problems in my mind. So whenever I learn a particular technology or a particular language, so I will think of in a different way, like how can we use a particular technology to solve a real problem. So that always floats in my mind during my engineering days. And like, yes, that is the enthusiasm created in me to start a YouTube channel in general. So apart from that, like, I love reading books. So I also love watching movies in my free time apart from this. And yes, I believe that one should be an all-rounder in his or her life to explore the more reality of life. So instead of going with a single way, having interest in multiple things, multiple areas, like not only permitted to work or not only permitted to enjoyment. So the balance is something that is required for everyone, and I do believe in that. So whatever I do, like, I must be prepared in a way that so there is a balance in everything that I do.
Hey, these are really motivating and inspiring. Yashwant, I'm sure your fellow batchmates or juniors must be very much inspired by all your thoughts and all. So, given the accomplishments that you have achieved so far, I have an interesting question. So, where do you see yourself in 10 years from now?
Actually, this is somewhat strange and common. Yeah, but course, I will answer this. Like, I don't even have clarity about tomorrow. Like, because what I believe is, if we have a basic set of goals that are very much prepared, I think most of the times we fail in achieving so. So instead of that, I like doing whatever I am comfortable and passionate at this moment. Might be tomorrow, like as I'm talking about this machine learning or Python or something. So if I say I would see myself as a Python architect or Python senior Python developer after 5 years, there are chances that after 2 years there might be one amazing technology or amazing language which will completely replace the Python. So yeah, as the world is moving in a very rapid manner, I think having the long-term goals in this situation is not that much good. So I don't believe in long-term goals, but yes, I want to see myself in a comfortable position, like without having any pressures. I need to handle situations in a very comfortable way. That is what I believe.
Perfect. I loved your answer.
Yes, Naveen and Sudhakar. So, what motivates you to start this guiding voice? Actually, when I come to all the videos in the LinkedIn and other social media platforms about this guiding voice, so like I thought that this was something very different from the usual things. Like, so people with the idea of guiding people, they choose very different options. Like some may start YouTube channel or some may start a blog, and but this was really interesting to see such a podcast platform which aims at guiding young engineering aspirants and students. So what is your actual motive to start this kind of a platform?
Sure. So probably I'll cover it first and later Sudhakar will add his thoughts. We have been mentoring people by visiting engineering colleges and B schools, but on a given day we can cover about 1,000 students at the max. But in case if you want to reach 1 million students and young professionals, right, we have to do this kind of sessions every day, which is not possible. So we thought we'll have to identify a platform for ourselves and become a go-to destination wherein students and young professionals should have a one-stop portal or a platform so that they can refer to the previous episodes to seek guidance and take some informed decisions. And what's in it for us? For example, in the last couple of weeks, we have received numerous calls from few of our callers, and they said the way this is organized is really amazing, and at the same time, few of them have sought guidance from us, and they in turn got back to us saying that they were able to get some good jobs. Again, I don't want to name the persons as well as the companies as such, but we are able to achieve our mission of helping students and young professionals, and especially those from tier 2, tier 3 towns with not so great background and who are really willing and have that particular fire in the belly to make it big. So this is it. Sudhakar, you want to add something?
Yeah, I think Naveen, you have put it mildly. People got bored about Sudhakar and Naveen's voices. So we wanted to ensure that they get the opportunity to interact with some smart leaders like you. So it all started from there, Yashwant.
Exactly.
Yeah, that was really inspiring, Naveen and Sudhakar.
Sure. And I'll also tell you why podcast as such. In fact, we have also contemplated whether to launch a blog or YouTube channel. Podcast is something which is picking up steam in India, though it is very popular in the developed countries and all. In fact, I've been listening to various podcasts for very long. and during my commute time, that is one of the best way to utilize time to listen to podcast and enhance the knowledge. But honestly, I never thought we would launch a podcast on our own. This has happened because we see that there is a strong need for guiding the future leaders of India. The main reason for choosing podcast is very simple. If you are tuning into a podcast, you don't have to stop the activity that you are in, whether you are cooking, whether you are gardening, or whether you are commuting. Irrespective of what you do, you can simply plug in your headset and just listen to it. We are there.
Yes, Naveen, that was really great. Yeah.
Excellent. Thank you, Yashwant, for your time. We really appreciate you accepting our invitation and taking time. I'm sure our listeners are going to have a blast when they go through this overall podcast about artificial intelligence, machine learning, the data science, and all related activities and all related aspects. So thank you very much. We really appreciate you taking time.
Yeah, thank you, Sudhakar, and thank you, Naveen, for inviting me. And yes, it was really a great experience for me having a conversation with you.
Yeah, it was indeed a great conversation on the roadmap to machine learning and wonderful insights. You are able to relate it to the real world problems and you have explained the concept in very, very simple way. Thank you once again, Yashwant.
Dear listeners, to know more about our speaker and the content, visit or follow us on social media or feel free to email us and we will be happy to share further details with you.
Alright, it brings us to the trivia segment of this episode, and today's trivia is about inspiration. Yes, the real inspiration. Mike Lazaridis, co-CEO and co-founder of RIM, which is known as Research in Motion, the operating system used in BlackBerry phones. He is also dropped out of college to start his own company. And you know what inspired him? He did so after reading Microsoft's co-founder Bill Gates' book, and I'm sure this is something what is called as real inspiration means. If you would like to share any trivias, please feel free to share them through email, and our email address is theguidingvoiceforyou@gmail.com, or SMS us or text us at India number 9494587187. We will not only share best trivias in future episodes, we will also announce your names. Again, we are open for suggestions on topics that you would like to hear from us through our email address. Our email address is theguidingvoice4u@gmail.com. You may also WhatsApp us on our India number 9494587187. Like our page on Facebook, facebook.com/theguidingvoice4u, or follow us on Twitter, twitter.com/guidingvoice. To stay tuned about our future episodes. We are also available on Instagram as The Guiding Voice for You. Also, please subscribe to our YouTube channel, youtube.com/c/The Guiding Voice. There is more in store. Until next time, have a wonderful time. Thank you for listening. Take care and be safe.